Can you let me know if you can hear me in the comment? All right. Hello, everyone. So today I will start splining the character. So I've already started splining it previously. So as before, this is my combo assignment for iAnimate. So again, I want to thank them to allow me to share my progress through the streaming. And let's just get started. So I've already hit splining for 2 hours, something like that, but I didn't stream about it because I was away from my home, my apartment, and I didn't have decent internet to be able to stream. So I've already started to go into splining mode. Okay, grabbing a coffee. So I will switch onto another skin for Lisa, which is less demanding computer-wise, so that it will be smoother. I will get rid of everything. Okay. So what I did for the time being is that I've already polished everything before has been kind of polished, and I just worked on the root motion, a bit of the spine and hips, and the feet, because it's like for me, it's one of the most important thing when animating. The root will give the main rhythm to your animation, this controller, the orientation to the character, etc. And the feet will let you know about the contact. So for me, I don't know, it's something like super important. So, okay. So now I will just let you know about um, uh, the different notes I've taken from the latest review from my mentor, Jeremy Collins. So basically, I need to watch out for arm spacing. For example, uh, in this case here, if you watch the arm, you can see it almost doesn't move on those free frame, while here I have a big um, change in the shape. So just make sure that it flows a bit better. Um, and I've set here the different keyframe I want to polish or dropping the arms here. On frame 53, I have some bug to fix here, for example, and I need to um, offset the movement of the spine, etc. No, no, we've just started. Don't worry, Edge. It's like 5 minutes since I've started working on this. So yeah, that's about it. So generally, when I'm splining, I start with the location of the root, and then I work with its rotation. So you can see I don't have that much notes until frame 68 because I've already made a polish path here. Let's just get rid of this. So what I'd like to do is to also add a frame here on the jump because I feel it's smooth, but I don't know, I'd like, or maybe not. I was wondering if uh, adding a key would make it like more stylized. You hold your character in air and then you accelerate when it goes down. So I will just test it. And all the end here is not polished. So what I will do is that I will polish, I think, everything like the arms and the torso until the kick. And then we'll see where I am in like 2 or 3 hours. If we can go on onto the rest of the animation here. So I will just try to add a keyframe here. So I have this that makes all the keys available for every controller of my character. And I will just extend it by pressing E by 1 frame. Okay. So I will have a hole here. I just want to see how it moves after that. Yeah. For me, it feels better. Yeah, I like it better. So I have to rework the polishing of this part of the torso. So I go into the graph editor. So it's gonna be pretty straightforward from there. You can see here it's my up pose. It's already pretty smooth, so it jumps like pretty fast. And there is like almost a plateau here. So I will just push this a little bit. And this one too. And I will check the Y location because you see, since I have added 1 frame, it slows down. Here we can see that it goes like super fast forward, slows, and go faster afterward, which can be okay, but uh, generally it doesn't look that good. So I will slightly blend those two a little more. And I will have to rotate it from points. So now I need to rework the foot of my character. So I will start with this one. Well, Sujiren. So I've choose Blender because I've learned 3D with Blender. And I've never used, I mean, almost never used any other 3D software to make CG. So it's mostly a matter of habit than saying that Blender is better or whatever than any other tool, which I don't think. I think Maya is better for animation, even if I don't use it. I've seen people working with it. The class is done in Maya, and I can see all the tools it as Blender is very good for animation too. I'm not saying that, but since my eye is specialized, for animation, might be a bit better. I think it's okay the way it moves here. So the arm polishing will be a big thing. Here what I can do, or what I generally do, is to hide the arms. Okay. So even if I hide the legs, um, you see the movement of the torso here, like the bouncing ball also, you know. So if you don't, maybe I should switch to flat, okay, something like that, to get just the silhouette. Okay. I mean, if it doesn't work without the arms and the legs, it won't work. Okay. You may not add details and stuff like that. Okay. So I will switch on the legs and the arms. I will share with you a couple of tricks when I'm polishing the arm this morning that I've tested just before the stream, to avoid quaternion bugs like this one. I mean, not avoid, but fix them easily without editing the whole anime. This is something you have to watch out when you work on your animation. So, okay, I need to focus a bit on what I'm doing. So here I need to, from the comment of my instructor, start a bit stretch of the upper part of the torso. So what he has basically was to stretch a bit the character already here with the head and the torso so that we can betterly feel the stretching. It will even a bit the space of the head. So I will already stretch it a bit here. And I need to check the path of the head. So I will go into the armature options here. Motion path, I will go from, yes, 9 to 75, let's say. Not that perfect, and calculate. So you can see here it makes a pretty nice arc, and those 2 points are pretty close one of the other. Then it is accelerating and slowing down in the air, which is what we want, accelerating here. So I will just slightly pull this one. So since I almost everything keyed here, I can work directly in the 3D viewport. I don't need to work on the, I have a key pair on ones per frame almost, so I can work directly on the character here. So we'll try to make a nice arc with the whole body from the tip of the leg here along the body that is pointing toward the next point, the next head position. And I will pull on the head already. So I don't care about the arms for the time being. I will work on this later on. So here also I should maybe pull it a bit more to start. Okay. So what I could do maybe is work on the leg tweaks here. So I will select it, uh, just a test. See if I can pull this, to make really an arc. So what I need to check also is my camera view, which differs a bit from this one. I think I will bring this a bit, but there is a bit too much stretching in the body here. You can see the arc here is pretty well defined. Now I need to check if it does blend properly with the next frame. I feel like this one should be a little clever. This here. Okay. I want this leg to be a bit more stretched, so I will pull this a bit, and on this leg I will reshape it a bit to keep the curvature from the previous pose. Yeah. I won't be able to share the Blender rig myself, but I will definitely provide it to iAnimate so that they will be free to choose whether they are sharing the rig with a student or not. Mm. Yes, I'm in the Games Workshop #2. Okay, that's good for me. I think so. Here maybe now what I will do is to um, I want to get slightly higher. You see the head seems to be falling a bit, so okay. So there is pulling. This is squashing a bit. So here I will also compress a bit the torso on this frame. So this is something I've already done just before. You can see from the side view how it is distorted a bit. So I will fix that, even if we can't see it from the camera view. Since it's a game animation, it should be at least decent from every angle. There are games like fighting games where they cheat a lot on the viewpoint, on the point of view, sorry. Like Street Fighter 4, I think there is a GDC talk about it that is really amazing, where they explain a lot of things about camera position and camera angles and how they have treated to make the character looks great. I should add it to the comment section if I remember it. The line thingy here, so it's again in the armature option, you select a bone, okay, you go into motion paths, you set the range, meaning that from which frame to which frame you want to show this motion path, and you click calculate, and you can see it here, okay? So now I can see the motion path of this specific bone, okay? And you can see that the arc is very clean, while here on the head arc here I have a slight straight line, which I don't necessarily like, but yeah, I think it works. The arms will bring some information too. So I will, and now I can click this to get rid of it. So I will now show you a little trick. Take notes, because I think it's pretty cool. I don't know if Luciano is here. I hope he is. Probably at work at the time. So I don't know if he knows this little animation trick in Blender. So I'm using Quaternion for the arm, the leg in forward kinematic, most of the spine controllers, the head, to avoid gimbal locks. The issue is when you do any rotation over 180 degrees, Blender need to change the channel is using to give the orientation to the bone. I won't be explaining that in depth because I'm not able to explain that in depth. But what you need to see here is the bloop, bloop, bloop. You see how the arm is going crazy here. And you can see that the W curve is getting from 1 to 0, or -1, sorry, while the Z curve here is switching. So they are switching their position, and the W become the rotation axis, while the Z become the orientation axis in a way. Okay. So what will be cool is to be able to fix this in Euler. Okay. So what I will do is that I will enter edit mode. Okay. I have my bone here, which is my controller forward kinematic. Yeah, the animation course I will start recording at the end of September. So I hope to be able to release it for Christmas or very early 2021 because it's pretty ambitious. There is a lot of things, so I think it's gonna be one of my biggest course ever. So it will take a lot of time for me to record everything. Okay, so in edit mode, I have this bone, which is my FK controller. I will duplicate it and scale it down so that I can identify this one. Okay, it's this bone here, and I will switch it so it's called maybe I will enable the names. Okay, so it's easier for you to follow. And I will switch it to Euler rotation. Okay, now I will constrain it with this one. So I select this one first, then the new bone, Control Shift C, copy transform. Okay, it has a copy transform. And now I will bake the animation where it's getting buggy here. Okay, assuming that this is already polished, I may rework this later on, but whatever. So from frame, let's say 43 to 51. Okay, 43, 51. So I will press F3, search for bake action. We say 43 to 51, I think. I don't remember. Yeah. And I will tell Blender to use visual cane, clear the constraint afterward, and to override the current action, so it will be written in the current action. Press OK. So now I have baked the animation onto a Euler rotating bone, okay, that behaves like the other one, but it will make the curve way easier to read here. Okay. So now what I can do is to constrain the original bone, the main controller, with this new one. Okay. With a copy transform. And now when I move this bone, this newly created bone, it does move the other one. So now I can play with the curve of the in Euler instead of quaternion, which is a pain when it got buggy. Most of the time it's like moving quaternion, but Euler, but you don't have gimbal locks, so it's pretty cool. But here it will be way easier for me to fix that. So I can play with the curve easily. So I will do it roughly here. Okay, you can see here where it's getting buggy. So we'll take the whole plateau here and bring it up. Okay. Okay. Now I will slowly fix things. So I want the arm to drag here. And what I will do afterward is to simply bake the animation back onto the quaternion bone. So there are other ways to do this, but I think this one works pretty well. It's pretty intuitive, let's say. Like switching the rotation mode. So I know that some rigs allow this by default, like one of the rig on the Blender cloud of what is her name? Rain, I think. The rig is pretty impressive. It has a lot of features. I haven't animated with it, but the facial rig especially is very cool. Regarding the body, I think it's close to a Rigify setup, so it's pretty cool. Rigify rigs are very good, basically. It's for me the only issue is that there's too many options, too many things, which is the goal of this. So here I'm hitting something weird. uh, okay, then I will be able to switch back to pattern again. But we'll just so I'm still fighting a bit with the curves, but it's way simpler than with patterning. Okay, so I will probably uh, rework this later on. Okay, but for the time being, it's okay. So 43 to 51, I will just bake the animation back onto this one. Okay, bake action. 43 to 51, override current, constraints, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And now if I select this one, I can remove it from the rig and it will be okay. So I still have a little, oh yeah, it's just in the animation currently. She's moving her arm forward then backward, but this is because I haven't animated it properly, but I don't have uh, the weird bug anymore. Okay. And okay, you need to remove this. It's the control arm keys that are remaining. Okay. And on this one, now if I check the curve, so they are still looking like weird here, but they are behaving the way I want. And here, oh, I will have to go further because I still have some the same troubles here because it's getting back into the other position. So I should have pushed the baking slightly further, but you have the idea. We will go back onto this later on. So I will start polishing the arm right now. Let me check the questions or comments or whatever. How to show, okay. Any plan? Yes. Yes. It's Pierrick, not Patrick. Hello, Ryan. Good work. Thanks, Alessandro. Do you have any tips getting lost in the dog food? I mean, I don't know what to say about the dope shit organization. I mean, yeah, you will sure have like a ton of keys, okay? But you don't need to work on every of them at the same time. Just click this until you will see only the keys of the selected bone, for example. So I generally keep this enabled so that whenever I uncheck this one, I see every single keys in my animation. And when I'm walking, then I select this, and when you click a bone, you will see only the keys of the selected bone. Yeah, micronation. I will probably do a tip video about it. And I will probably do it in the animation course too. Okay. So let's go into the graph editor. Um, so here I just want to, before I go working onto the arms, I will work on the torso. Okay. Just at the moment of the impact, yeah. I want to push it further with translation so that we can really feel the impact. I don't know what, okay. Yeah. And I will pull those two. So I will stretch a bit the body, and then the hips will catch up. Like to do. Okay. And I will move them also forward a bit. Yeah, exactly what I wanted. Like a spring, you know? I don't know if it does translate well in the spring, but yeah, it looks pretty cool here. Okay. Okay, let's work on the arm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, if you select like I have the same here, you can see. If I select three bones, I can see the curve on those three bones. Okay. And one thing, um, just uh, just try. You know, just open Blender, open your animation, and play with those filters. So I just input a key here. I will input a very very subtle rotation. But as she comes down, I will slightly raise the arm because as if the elbow was dragging a bit. So I will just check the curve that does it, this one, and I will just slightly move it up like that. Okay, that's just so that the arm moves a bit while she's going down. And when she comes forward here, I will slightly drop the arm. So I will open it, okay? And here, it goes like super fast from one pose to the other. And there is a plateau here, okay? So whether I throw these parts a bit, or when there is this plateau, as she raised the elbow really fast, I can overshoot a bit. So it's going down here. I can go down a little more, down a little more, and on this curve go up a little more. And see how it looks. So the backward motion is weird here, clearly. And it's popping also. So the backward motion was this arm and maybe, no, okay, that's fine. So there might be also motion in the shoulder at this moment. Okay, and I have the anticipation for the next strike. So here I will pull the arm way back so that I get more power. Because I wanted to drag a bit. And I will probably eat on the next thing. So I need to work on the other bone too. So here, this is what I want. To keep it open so that we have a frame where the arm is open, and then here I will pull on it to even further. So stack. Here I will pull the bone on the y-axis. Just for a frame, you know. Oh. And I need to eat this one quicker. So we just let's like that. Wow. So the recover here doesn't look good at all. I will work on this one. Oh, okay. Good luck with that. Micronation. Hope it's gonna be okay. And I will slightly twist the hand there. Oh, it's already twisted. So it's I will just need to find the right axis. Okay. Yeah, now the punch reads better. the fact that it's dragging a bit. So I will just here input a bit of dragging too. So when the arm, this one is raising, this one will be pulled a little. So if I go forward here with my body, you can see that I do this, okay? So I will just duplicate the first thing and drag a bit the arm, like something super subtle, and do exactly the same with the end here. And then if I go like super deep into polishing, I should do the same thing with the fingers. So you have overlapping motion all over the place, okay, on every single controller. Okay. The more the overlapping you have, like if it's like very big, the more weight you're inputting. Okay. If you want, like she's pretty super slim and super light, so I don't want to overdo this because it will feel like a lack of control. Okay. So if you are animating a Kung Fu master, don't go crazy with overlapping animation or follow through, I don't know. But if you're animating an orc or something like that, you know, a troll or a fat character, yeah, this looks pretty bad. I will fix that, which is cooling so that it does blend betterly with the next pose you see now. It unstretching. Now it looks way better. Okay, cool. I think that we'll just get rid of the. Okay. This is cool. I will check the left arm now. So the spline was already polished at this time. I think I will add a slight overfoot here too on the arm, a slight stretching. So whether on frame 21 or 22, I think it's gonna be 21. So I have a key on every single frame, so I can go like that already. And I will slightly rotate here also the fists. Doesn't look good here. It makes a potato shape. Yeah, just a little pop. Yeah. So I should do the same with the shoulder. What I'm afraid of is the fist move a lot in screen, and then I will have to fix it using aim space or something like that. Let's see if I can just push the shoulder a bit. Yeah. Doesn't look bad. Yeah, I will just make the shoulder pop a bit on this one because of the split she had previously. So I will check the location and see the curve. You see here. Okay. So since our body is raising like super fast, as soon as she stop, I just put a bit of uh, colorful motion in the shoulder. And then when she goes down, I will pull the shoulder a bit. And here I have a plateau. I can also push the shoulder a bit forward. So it's, I mean, it's just a couple of frames. So if you were into a very realistic animation, you wouldn't do that also. But to be honest, I wish this animation was a bit more stylized on the anime side of things with a lot of contrast in the motion. For my personal taste, but along the way, as I was working on it, since we were really, trying to match, uh, I mean, something perfect on the mechanism side of things. Yeah, you get rid a bit of the style to get very smooth motion and good arcs and stuff like that, and good position of the feet, foot also. And I think once you master this, which is not my case for sure, but then you can go into style. Because if you overdo stylized animation, in a way it's easier because you just have to make like super nice poses and go from pose to pose. The outside of thing is to create a nice choreography. But for the polishing, it might be a little easier and a little less demanding. But I wish I was a little better at this, as creating like super stylized animation with excessive poses, like in animes and stuff like that. So I will do the same as for the other arm. I will open a bit before she gives the punch. So in the beginning, when she goes down, I will slightly raise the arm here. Then when she goes forward, I will slightly open. I don't know if, yeah, Anthony is happy to work with me. Sure he is. I mean, I'm so cool. So you're the guy from Bordeaux, right? Mr. Chaser? For the people in the chat, Anthony is our character artist in Noara. And I think that Mr. Chaser is one of his best friends also, or a former schoolmate, right? So what I will do here on the fingers is that I will slightly open them before he goes into a fist pose, so that I have she's like that, anticipation, and she holds her hand like strongly. I don't know if we're going to see this, but so you can see here I have a pretty slow stuff with the fingers. So here I won't be walking with curve. Oh, okay, okay. For another schoolmate from Tours. Okay. So you can go onto the fingers for both arms. So for me, like till frame 35, the arm polishing is okay. I think there is enough motion. It feels pretty natural and it serves the punch, I believe. The thing that really bother me on this is the foot here, but it's mostly rig limitations. I will have to be cautious with the eyes. So what I will do, okay, so now on the fingers, so I will switch to the dope sheet here. I will hide this end, so now I see only the but weird that this one is still selected. I don't like that. But... So you can see here the fingers are not moving at all. So I will just input a bit of uh, rotation as she goes down here. I will just slightly move those as they were dragging. Okay. So it goes down, she open, it goes up, she close, something like that, you know. So I should animate the root of the fingers, then the tip of the fingers. And so she closes her feet at frame 18 and she starts closing here. So it's pretty long. Okay. So I will just duplicate this. I want something snappy, you know. And what I will do is that on frame 16, I will open the end more. Okay. So I don't know if it will translate properly on the screen here. I mean, in the camera view, I also need to rework a bit my staging. I don't like the end of it, but in the beginning, it's just traveling, so that's fine. So you see it's going to open and then snap the foot. So that's, yeah, that's pretty subtle, but it will bring a little thing to the animation. This is something I did on the equipment video with the character like manipulating an axe. Whenever he was doing something, he was like anticipating and wrapping it like super strongly. So here, when it's opening, I will just delay a bit those secondary controller. And when it's closing, I should try maybe something like that. Well, no, we can't really see it on this angle, but delaying those, you know. And here I can even overshoot and close the the fist a little tighter. So this is mostly between you and me because I don't think that anyone will notice it in the animation. But yeah, and we can't really see it from that angle. Uh, I will just fix the profile. Ah, sorry. Uh, how many frames to a rapid attack take? Uh, I don't know what to say. Um, uh, so I don't know. It depends on if you don't need an anticipation, like you can go like 5 frame or even 3 frame. Um, search for new frame plus YouTube channel. Awesome content with animation analysis. I love it. Perfect editing of the video. It's like gold. Just grab popcorn and watch this. So we'll do the same on the other end. And sorry, city French accent. So, for example, here I could unfold a little more the fingers when she's punching because she's protecting herself. And there, when she's going to punch, do the same like. So I will duplicate this one. I have a closed fist here, so I will take just one additional frame to open the end a little more. And when she goes down to close the end, I will make the tip of the finger dragging. You can even reverse the finger if you want. It's not a problem if you want a snappy animation. So in this case, it does look weird. But if she was like touching a ball, I will definitely reverse the fingers. So here, yeah, she's pushing forward with her hand. Yeah, that's not good. Let me see. will slightly open yeah, that's fine. Oh, she has weird fingers for sure. So here on this one, I have a hole. I can see it here. I open them a little more. So yeah, that's super subtle. I will move on. Okay. So here I have a big change in the arm. If you watch the hand here, so we'll go back onto the arms. Since the arm are not inheriting the rotation of the shoulder, I can work on the shoulder afterward if I want. Shoulder posing is can be hard. And watching the elbow, it's making a pretty good art. That's the complicated part with pattern and here I have a big change that could be a little smoother from one pose to the other, so I'm just slightly dragging we will settle the next move here. So I will pull back a bit so that I don't have like it's going back and going forward again. You see, I will make this a little more subtle. Don't like this like big change on the y-axis, so I will make it smoother like that. Okay. And now here she should be uh, dragging her arm a lot more. Like, you see, she's not even rotating that arm is already going forward, and it also does some weird movements here, and I don't want that. Really want it to, yeah, drag like that. Even a bit more, yeah. Boom, yeah. So here you can see the elbow going up and down. If I track the elbow on those two frames, oh, it's the camera mainly. Since the camera is sliding, so here it's uh, moving more or less where it should be, but it's a bit sliding forward. What I want is more of a diagonal shot, and I will extend the arm just on this frame, like so. And I will also use tweaks of the arm and pull it. So I will make sure I have a keyframe before and a keyframe after, okay, and pull it a bit just to have a snap on this keyframe bow, like a gunshot, you know. Now I need to revise to fix the quaternion problem here. You can see on one frame, it's going bananas. So I can use the same technique as before with the Eulers. I think I will hold the arm a little further on this one. And here she's dropping a bit the arm. I will just fix that. If you see the hand here. So the thing is that you can't rotate your elbow. You can rotate your elbow only on one axis. So if the hand is dropping on the side, it means that this is the arm moving. Okay, so probably the y-axis, I guess. Okay, so you can see that on this frame the arm is like here, and then it's dropping a bit. Okay, I don't want that, because if you are preparing a shot like that, you're getting pumped and you're not like loose and then strike. You're like raising your arm toward your head. Okay, so I rotate it like that. Okay, and I might, I don't know, maybe open a bit the hand upward like this. So one thing when you that's when you give an elbow shot like that, don't close your fist, or you will get like nerve injury or something like that. While if you keep your hand open, you should get less troubles. That's something we don't see in Muay Thai fighting, because they have the glove, but when they give elbows, they keep their hand loose and they are not contracted like that. It's the fighting tip of the day. Okay, it's yeah, looking cool. Yeah. So I just need to fix this frame here. Where it's recovering. So I will, I don't know, I will probably use the Euler thing again. So let's see here. See. Here I have this plateau that doesn't look good. So this is what I told you in the beginning. You can see just moving at this point in the curve. So if I keep it here, watch the movement of the arm here. It's like pretty boring. Okay, it's straight. Or if I move it down like that, it draws a curve. Okay. So I'll just raise it a bit here and a bit more there, I guess. Yeah. Even on the view here, you can see it makes a nice C shape from the knee to this arm, which is super cool. And here I'm breaking it. I'm reversing the. So by increasing the amplitude of the curve, I'm just bringing contrast into the animation. Here I think I can stick a little more to the body. And here it's tapping the other way, okay? So I will curve it and once in the air here, I will make it drag a bit on one frame also. But then I will make it going like way up here. So I need to work on the shoulder too. The shoulder will be dragging like super Spider-Man stuff. So I'm posing it like that because I didn't have a pose set. You can see it wasn't done during the blocking. And the thing is that I like the forearm to drag. So here, for example, I don't know, it's because the arm is twisting at the same time. So, but maybe I should be more like that here. And how to tell, you know. Here it should be like way more dragging to this one. Yeah, you see it's super static, yeah. So I have a big change on this part here in the rotation. And on the other arm, I will just pose it rapidly here. So she's pulling the shoulder pretty early on, but as soon as she gets in the air, it should be slightly fast like that. You know the Spider-Man thing, Spider-Man thing, sorry. Okay, and then I will play with the hands too. So here I'm trying not to over rotate the shoulder like this because the arm because it's impossible. You can't raise your arm upper than that. Then it's your shoulders that does the rest of the motion. And then there will be a lot of things going on in the end to get the really cool movements, something like that. You know? Yeah, that's something to look great. But here clearly the left arm nothing's happening because I haven't worked on it. So even if it's in the background, you need to. So for example, when she's going down, I should keep it slightly more dragging a bit. I don't know where is the cat, but we are eating like a big warm heat wave. So it's like 35 degrees in the office. Yeah, I just have a fan right next to me, and I want to remove this. So the cat must be somewhere in a fresher room, laid on the ground. You know, he's like having a rough time with the heat lately. The character is from iAnimate. It's the Lisa Rick because this is an assignment I'm doing for my uh, the class I'm taking at iAnimate. So yeah, I'm getting back to school to improve my animation sets before I can pretend to uh, teach people animation. You know, that's the idea. Sorry for that. Yeah. Mm. Just my Korean and some more. Okay. So here, I'm fine because most of the time we can't really see the arm. I will just double check if it has a cool motion here. So here I will make it drag a bit, yeah, and then slightly overshoot here. I keep it simple, but you can see that now we have this arm in the silhouette. So it does bring a little more of the straight line. So maybe what I could do is try to match the arm flow here so that this is pointing in the same direction as the rest of the body, you know? Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Everything that can support the silhouette of your character is more than welcome. So here I have a big change in the move while she's just recovering. So if she was like punching directly, that wouldn't be fine. But what I will do here is to uh, smooth a bit the movement, slow it down, so that we are more into a dragging motion. Oh, that's super good. Yeah, I just make sure I don't break get rid of this thing so that it just drags a bit. And here I want to raise a bit more the arm. like she's protecting her face, and she opens forward. I will raise it a bit more here too, so I don't have really a key to rely on. So I will do it by hand here. So she's basically protecting her face. Here I should make it drag a bit, so we can see we have a quick variation here. I will just try to drag it back. Okay. So I also have this like super fast uh, variation into the quaternion, but here it's not getting buggy, so I can. That's weird here. The arm is not moving. You can see here. It's getting static after. So the elbow is moving, but I feel like the end is counter animating. I will drag a little more. Yeah, so that I have a little more motion. That's some nasty elbow. No, it doesn't have a face rig, this character. So maybe it was another character. I just put a couple of effects to be able to animate the face, but the original design doesn't has face rig per se. I don't like the jiggle in the end. Yeah. In the left arm. So here I'm just putting a bit of dragging in the left arm. That goes very, very fast. Let's watch it from there. So when she's rotating here, the hand is dragging a bit, and then boom. but here it should be faster. You see it's slowing down and getting up there, while it should be like getting super quickly there and then slowing down. So you can see here there is a acceleration. You just need to do it like that. Okay, quick change, and then it slowed down to the extreme. Yeah. Okay. So we don't necessarily see it on screen, but you will probably feel it. And if what you're doing in the graph editor has sense, it should translate in the animation after all. There are a lot of people not using the graph editor at all, uh, which can be fine if you animate on once. But if you're able to read the graph editor, it generally doesn't lie that much when it comes to speed and stuff like that. Okay, cool. Yeah, they're getting somewhere. So let me read the chat a little bit. So yeah, have you tried Cascade? Not yet. I've downloaded the beta installer, but I haven't tried it yet. To be honest, I'm fighting against time lately. I have too many things going on, and I really don't have time to test new things. So yeah, I want to test Cascader for sure, but didn't have time. And yes, I have a course planned for the end of the year. As I told before in the stream, I hope to release an animation course in Blender, a full animation course for Christmas. I was planning at the beginning of the year to release it in September, but I haven't started the recording. So yeah, I'm working on some surprise beforehand. So yeah, just just stay in touch. So here I can clearly work a lot more on the arm motion, especially here it's raising too fast. I don't like it at all. But for the beginning, I will just fix the, so I will redo the quaternion to Euler thing here. So I will just select this bone on the right arm to fix this frame here. Okay. So into edit mode, I will duplicate it and scale it down just to see it. It won't change anything. Okay. So this is the new bone. I will constrain it with the controller, copy transform. I will bake the couple of frames where it gets buggy. So from 50, let's say, to 45, 50, 55, sorry. Bake action, only selected bone is okay in share constant. 50 to 55, let's do this. Okay. And now I will constrain. So now this bone is following the other one. And now I will constrain this bone with this one. Copy transform so that I can polish the curve here. You can see the big, oh, I forgotten to switch it to Euler. So it's as okay, so now it's the constraint, and here I will switch its rotation to Euler. Okay, and I will make it again 50, 55, and constrain this bone with this one copy transform. Okay, so now I can work on the Euler rotation of this bone to fix this, and you can see here there is some weirdness happening, while the motion should be mostly like it's a recover to the next pose. So if I just get rid of those keys, maybe, yeah, it fixed the problem. So there might be also, I can, I will still work on this, but I mean, you see the trick is pretty efficient, let's say. So now I can try blending from this one to this one here. So it's just a recover from a big impact. So I just need to align the curve more or less to smooth them out, I think. Well, okay. And I I will bake this onto the quaternion here. So I will say, because I don't know if it's gonna be buggy or not. What is twin motion? Thank you, guys. FPS animation at any chance? Oh, I never done that. Yeah, so here I have one keyframe, one weird key here, but the recovery is okay. So I just have one key to fix. I will get rid of this bone, and you need to get rid of all the keys here. And I think, yeah, I was missing one frame here, so yeah, I just moved the problem further. I should have baked the entire things before. Next time I will remember this to frame the movements. So here I will slightly move it back, make it drag a bit. So here I don't care about the curve, I'm just watching the silhouette here. You can see there is a lot of movement between those two keys here. So I will start to rotate the arm a bit like that. And on this frame, I will pull it back again, so that it's closer to the previous position. And what I don't like is that I'm checking with the camera movements. So there is a bit of up and down motion of the torso here that looks weird, because it goes through too far down, yes. Boom. Yeah, here it's, I will just, yeah, I'm missing the key, okay. Yeah, now it flows a little better. Mm. There is a little pop here. I will just counter animate it a bit. Yeah, okay. You see it goes up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, I need to work on the right arm back from there. Argus software. Okay, okay. Well, I'm not that much into, not at all into ArcViz, so that's probably why I didn't, I haven't heard about this. So here I can, you can see that I've already curved during the blocking the finger so that it follows the rotation of the arm. I will open the thumb to even follow it more, like that. Okay. I'm looking at this frame right now. And I will go a little further here in the arm pose, the end pose, sorry. Her hands are not easy to pose because she has very long and thin fingers. I think I should keep the pose here a little longer while she has closed fists. Like, and I could also, on this one, go on to the finger tweaks here. I will make sure I have a key before and after, and I will create a smear by moving those. Okay. Or at least try to create a smear. On screen, yeah. But it should work also uh, in the 3D view from any angles, because you're just aligning the fingers with the flow. Okay. So this will increase the speed sensation. So when you render, so this is the kind of thing you will get with motion blur. But you may not use motion blur when doing video games animation, even if some game engines now support um, motion blur, or you can bring, this is why we use also smears, or FXs, slash FXs onto a character to fake the motion blur. But yeah, for example, on the game reel, if I was to recruit an animator, for example, and there is tons of motion blur, I wouldn't, I don't say it's like a no-go. You can use it, but it's like a layer of effect onto your animation, and we can't really read it properly after a while. And it's a bit of cheating in a way. So cheating is good, but if it doesn't allow me to read how your animation will look, uh, so here I'm just trying to fix the silhouette of the foot. Yeah, okay. So this is some improvement I've done compared to um, my current rig that is in the rigging course, like ankle and wrists controllers, tweakers, let's say. Also, there are uh, some corrective bones that I didn't show in the rigging course. So I will probably share this kind of tip in new videos later on YouTube or whatever. I don't know yet. So here, I will just maybe slightly delay the arm on this pose. I almost want to break it. Oh no, that's fine. But here I will bend it way more so that it's dragging. And I will also bend the end toward the previous position. The lyrical thing I was talking about. I will also reorient the thumb here because here it's making like a broad shape for the end that I don't really enjoy. So here I will be mostly working frame by frame because working on the curves doesn't make sense here since all the keys are, all the frame are clean. So you can see I'm dragging the wrist and then the fingers toward the previous position of the character. So I'm generally moving those two fingers together. If you haven't checked it, check the video about hands animation from Yalti. I will butcher his name. Yalti Yemarson, something like that. If someone can check it on YouTube and put the link in the comments. It's from the last Blender conference, I think, where he explained some stuff about an animation that was like super interesting. Very detailed talk about how to pose hands and why. Very cool. So here we can't see the sun in the silhouette, so I can bring it a little bit inside here just so that we can see here. Can see it here, and I will just gather a bit those fingers together. Okay. So yeah, I should start from there. Like the end of it here. Should open the hand more here already. So here I will uh, it's like a bird wing, if you will. Bird wing, sorry, not wing. Here I can even break the joint, not a problem. To bend the arm backward on a couple of frames and do the same with the end like that. So it's pointing toward the previous position, and I will open the fingers. Okay. Blue Rabbit. I know someone called Blue Rabbit. How are you doing? Back to the office or still working from home? It's cool to see my students still following. It means you didn't hate in me after all. So Tsar 333 is a former or a current student. Solveig is also a former student. There's something weird. Yeah, it can goes to frame. Um, it's in those curves. Uh, goes too fast from there to there. Uh, Hey Jay, how are you doing? Yeah, that's complicated because the arm is also twisting during this directional thing. So here it's okay, here it's not anymore. Should check from this point of view, not from the camera. Okay, you see how the end is dropping here from this to this, while here the end is making a nice arc. So as I did before, I will track the hand and I will work on the arm accordingly. Yeah, I'm making big efforts to speak a decent English for you guys. That's easier when I'm recording tutorials because uh, I think of what I'm going to say before I say it, so I can focus on saying scale the right way for Blue Rabbit, for example. I think you will understand. Okay. So this is the motion trail of the end inside view, and I will activate it by, so I have a shortcut on the overlay here. It's power 2 on my keyboard. So in screen space, yeah, that it's hard to track, but it doesn't look too bad. But maybe here it should be slightly lower. So I'm missing a key. That's when you have like fast action, it can be hard to just play on curves. I don't know if what I just said makes sense, but so here I'm looking at the spacing of the. I will update the path. Okay, you see the. Let's get rid of the character here. You see the acceleration. We are at full speed here because we have a lot of spacing between the keys. then it slows down and again, and then it accelerates until it reaches the next pose. So now if I read this, I feel like the spacing makes sense, and you see how smooth now the movement of the arm is. So I still add a little, I don't know, I'm not super convinced of this transition here. Here, I think it should be a little further, but maybe already from there, like it's like that. I should break the arm. Definitely break the arm on this one. It doesn't matter. It's just for a frame or two. It's like super common to do this in animation. Yeah, now it looks cool. Oh yeah, that's, I don't know if you get it, guys. Um, I'm so what I want to I'm satisfied of what's happening on screen now. So let's see, I will play the animation for a little while, and I will read your comments. Now it flows. So it doesn't flow as well as in this space, because in camera space, it's the camera is moving forward too. Maybe here I can slightly lower the arm. You see it's almost straight horizontal here. So I will push this pose a little lower, okay? And this one too. Yeah, that's complicated, but yeah, I think it's okay. I wish there was an additional frame here where I can, you know, make a little art, but that's cool. Okay, let's save this and see what you're saying. Hope you're not sacrificing, I don't know, making any sacrifice in my name, in the cleric's cult name. Let me check this rapidly. Okay. Okay, cool. So I will move on to the left arm, because there are big changes also. For example, here I could apply the same principle and create a nice trail with the left arm, and then we'll go into this part of the animation where he's looking like that, okay? But I will just make like a 2-minute pause because I really need to go to the bathroom. So I will just put you in wait for like 1 minute. So here I am. Okay, cool. Thanks, Wheeler, for the shout out. No, I can't share this rig because the character is from iAnimate. And even if I rebuild the rig, uh, the model is copyrighted. And one, I'm not allowed to share it. And two, that would be unfair, to be honest. I will never share rigs from without authorization or something like that. And you should never do it, even if it's a fan art or something like that. So in this case, it's like impossible. But if you were to work onto a character because you've seen a nice concept on ArtStation also, just ask the permission to the ones that has done the concept art. Like 99% of the time, they will say that they are fine with it, and it's a form of respect. And also, you never know what kind of uh, friendship or whatever connection you will get with the concept artist just because you've reached them before working on their character. And I've connected with great artists just this way because I liked their work and just asked if I can use it just to, make a character tutorial or to work on it. So yeah, in this case, it's just that it's copyrighted. I'm paying to get to this pool. I'm paying to get access to those characters. So I will not share them for, one for free and two on my own. If the school decided to share the rig with the community, that's fine. What I really hope, to be honest, is that uh, the rig I have done will be good enough so that they make it available for students that want to animate in Blender in the school. Because there are a couple of Blender users like me, but there is also one buddy from Twitter that is on the workshop #1. So here you can see, just to get back to this for a second, the big change on the left arm from there to there, okay? So it's a very fast movement for sure, okay? But it should reach a little later. So I can whether offset the key and hope for the best. And it does, yeah, it does the job pretty well. I will need to work on the forearm too. Or I can add a new key, or I can work from there. So I will do that. I will slightly drag it down. And then I will open this a bit more. I'm not looking at the curve right now, so yeah, maybe it should be raised a little more. Complicated for nothing. Just following the flow. You see the silhouette here of the character with both arms creating an arc. That's just about it. I will have to work on the fingers too. Okay. And there, so it's like the previous things we had. There is a twist also in the shoulder, so that's yeah, that's hard to spline properly. What I see here is that the shoulder goes down, and then you see the arm is raising, going down, and catching just after, which looks weird. I think, yeah. So maybe I should keep this a little lower on this one. Raise it a bit more there. There is a twist, I think. Yeah, yeah, it's the twist. Yeah, this one, this down. Yeah, that's now the end will catch up. And no problem. Thank you for following. So here I have a big plateau that looks really, really bad. So I think that the shoulder is already rotated a lot. But here I should point a little bit more like that. I think. So I won't go as extreme as the other arm, because this arm is more or less aligned with the flow of the body, and this one is not. So if I do a lot of motion in this arm too, it might kill the silhouette of the character. So I really need to work on the shape of the hand. Doesn't look good at all. And the way it goes, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty complex motion because it goes down and then forward. Yeah, and I will slightly overshoot it. So here I'm getting into the next part of the animation. But here I should have those some kind of relief and something like pretty extreme, and the fingers will open. So I will do this. Also, I will just input a slight overshoot in the other arm since we are getting there. So you can see it goes like super fast into this pose, boom, and then it just stops. Okay, so I will just move it further. and catch up with those. So here I will use the curve. Because since it's in Euler, it's way easier to read the curve on this arm. And I will slightly overshoot here, like super, just a bit, and I will do the same with the end. We can see that the end is open here. Yeah, it's closing like super fast, and it's not dragging at all from this previous stuff. So frame. So I will just break the wrist a bit. I'm watching mainly the silhouette in this view. It's still dragging here, and from there I will slightly. So the forearm is dragging, the end is dragging from the forearm, and then it catches. Okay. Then I need to work on the fingers. So on this one, I don't really need to input that much information about the fingers because we don't. So I'm telling this from my review. I'm not like super clever, but while the right arm is supporting the jump here because it creates a nice curve. When it comes to the kick, it goes from there. At the beginning, I've made a movement like that of the arm, and it was like following exactly the same motion as the knee, which is the thing that push the the kick in a way. And so it was a bit confusing to have two features of the body doing the same thing, and we were like following the arm instead of the knee at this point. So this is why we decided to, or my mentor advised me to bring the fist toward her breast in this motion, like in a straight line instead of making a big arc. So here I have yeah, this keyframe is like annoying. Okay, so let's polish the finger, the right arm here, sorry. This pose is cool. I will just make it point a little more toward the upper part, and I will rework the fingers from there. So here, this is a weird angle. No, what do you call an energy pass? What is an energy pass before starting blocking? And no, it's not Rigify. I re-rigged the character from scratch, more or less. I had the deformation armature and I rebuilt all the controllers. Because it was, this is a Maya rig and you can't import in Blender the FBX with all the controllers, unfortunately. So when I've taken before I took the class, I've asked if I could get some of the rigs just to see if I can rig them and follow along in Blender because I didn't want it to buy Maya, learn Maya within a week to catch up with the other students and to be able to take the class. Not that I'm not willing to learn Maya. This is something I'm really considering. But since I don't use it at work, uh, on Aura we work with Blender, so it's hard to, say, okay, I will switch to Maya. Just, just for, just to learn. But again, I think that Maya is more powerful for rigging an animation. But Blender is very good. Okay, you can do awesome animation in Blender for sure. And I really hope I'll be. My goal is to be featured in the iAnimate official rel. That would be awesome because it means that you did well in a way, but also like to be featured there and among other great animators. And I think that would be great for Blender too if a Blender user was featured in an animation school rel like this. And that will be flattering for me, let's be honest. I I don't like the shape of the hand here. That looks like super bad. Also on this plane. So you make it more from profile. Oh, that's really, really bad. Wow. Yeah, this COVID situation is really not helping the industry and people working for free. Now it looks better. I will fix it on the previous frame too. So it's just my palm controller that was pushed a little too much. Okay, so let's see. I think I've made some good enhancement onto animation here. So here one of the notes I had was so the torso hip, then the hip sketch it was on this one. So we can see here the torso extend and then the hips are, let's watch it here, it's better. You can see the hip catching up, yeah. They are lower at the extreme of the movement and then they catch up and it's going back. So that's fine. watch out for arm spacing. So I think since we've watched most of the arcs, it was looking pretty good. I might have to revise a bit this one and here work on the overshoot, but I will do this later. Okay. Try adding a key, so I've done it in the beginning of the stream here. I've added a key because I wanted to have a more contrasted jump, more stylized. Yeah, still don't know what's an energy pass offer. And 77 to 79 here. My mentor asked me to break the spine, meaning that you can see the hips here comes first, then they are dragged back, and I need to do the same with the torso here. So I will do it not using curves, but moving it by hand because it will be like on one frame also. So here I will kind of overshoot with the, no, not too much with it. Yeah, just a little more. So using a bit of, yeah, that's really cool. That sells the impact. That's really, really cool. Yeah, that's great. You see, that's the face of satisfaction. uh, so then I need to do the same with the head. So you can see that rotation-wise, I have polished it a bit already, so it was looking great. And then I add a bit of translation. So I will like too little back here. The torso here hit the extreme pose on this frame, so I will drag it a little back. It's getting backward. I will push the head forward and a little more on this frame. Okay. And then it will recover. Okay. Take head direction on 90. Okay, so I did this, yeah, previously on the time lapse. I don't know if I will publish it, but the very first pass of polishing I did, smooth transition from weapon pull to the shot set in one action. Okay, yeah, that's also something. So it's when she's pulling the gun on the previous animation or pass of animation, there were a hold here. So she was holding like that and then going down. So what I did is I removed a couple of frames so that as soon as she claps, she goes down like that, but it's not polished at all. So if I show you the entire animation here, you can see if you watch, I mean, when she pulled against how robotic it looks like. Everything is moving at the same time. While from the beginning to this, I've almost polished everything. So I will just finish with this arm and we will call this done because it's almost lunchtime here. And I think it's looking decent. No, honestly, I'm pretty happy with the results. I will do the fake like humble guy or whatever. I'm just happy with the results. And yeah, that's what's matter, you know, enjoying what you're doing when you're doing this kind of thing. Because this is why you put more energy if you're enjoying what you're doing. This is the thing I'm trying to teach people whenever I have classes, that we have a fun job, and even if there are hard times like crunches, and you kind of burn out easily when you're passionate. But yeah, to be honest, between this and walking to the factory, or I don't know, in an office doing administrative stuff, I think you can say I'm lucky I'm doing what I like. Maybe it's a bit too flat here. I will just slightly rotate um, the hand toward the camera, so that, okay, like that, so that I don't see the blade of the end. And oh, that's painful to watch. Don't do this with your fingers at all. Yeah, then there is a big change. I think I need to open this a bit. I need to watch in this screen. I feel like the hand is doing a big plateau here. I will check that later. I will just pose the fingers on the end here. And then I will take a couple of minutes to answer any questions. So if you have any question right now about what I'm doing, what I'm planning to do, or whatever, just do it right now so that I can take a few minutes to answer after a while. So here I'm dragging the fingers here, and when so if you look at here, bam, the ends going back and moving forward. So I will probably have to fix it because it was a bit like super, like it moves a lot. But what I'm sure is that I want the fingers to be pretty loose, so that's fine. Then I will, like on this frame, overextend them a bit like that. See on screen how it makes a nice and smooth flow here. Okay. So last thing, so that it makes sense for everybody here, I will just track the different parts of the body, just for, you know. So let's track the hands and the torso here from, yeah, till 85. Okay. I will save, save, that's important. So I go into motion path 0 to 85 and calculate. So I don't, oh, we can't select them. That's a bummer. So yeah, here it's a bit of a mess, but you can see we have like very nice arcs here. You can see this one. And when I told you it made a little plateau here, so I will slightly open the arm on the y-axis. One from the top view, yeah, it does also make a nice curve. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty smooth here. There is a big change forward. Okay, but that's fine. But yeah, just slightly, I don't like those widgets appearing. I hate working with widgets. I never use them. If this was going to be a question, I hate widgets. Okay. In the beginning here, it's a bit complicated to track because there is a lot of motion. But yeah, you can see here the start. Even in the beginning, I put a bit of motion there. So I could drag a bit to have better curvature, but that's fine. Boom. And here you can see the body shot here on this frame, the overshoot and the recovery. And it's still making enough, okay? So these are not like lucky shot. I've polished the curve of this before we go into this stream, so that was intentional. If you watch the curves here, you can see the Z curve is pretty smooth, and since it's aligned with workspace, what you see here, if I go into normalize maybe on this one only, it almost matches what we see there. Okay, the movements, right? Okay. Okay, so I will save. I will just what are widgets in this context? Those stuff, the manipulators, the widgets. That's the. I don't use them. I don't like them. Okay, let's save this. I will play blast the animation. So I will switch to the previous model. I will activate the dummy, the background, the FXs, if it does make sense, the stage. And I will just here go into view, viewport render animation. And in After Effects, then I will run the play blast. Okay, so speaking of which, have you thought of the structure of animation course yet? I thought CG Cookie Flow was a nice structure, but it obviously encompasses the whole process. Yeah, sure. I've already written down the whole animation course content, but it's evolving because I may have a new character. That j'ai fini. Okay. Ah, okay. Pardon. Yep. So let's just refresh this. Okay. That should be our progress from today. Yeah, no more bugs in the. Okay, I will export this so that we can watch it. So yeah, sorry, I already written down the whole structure, or I don't know, you call this the um, yeah, the structure of the animation course. So it will be like the rigging course. I think it does works well because it can work from for every levels of students. We will start with like the super basic stuff you have all seen at CG Cookie on any other uh, website with the simple principle of animation, probably the bouncing ball animation, seeing the different tools to animate in Blender. So the idea is that a perfect beginner that already knows the UI of Blender, I won't teach the UI of Blender, but can start animating, and it will go, there will be different level per chapter, and the further we go, the more complicated it will be. So I won't explain the whole thing because I want to keep it a bit secret for sure. But in the end, that's gonna be some kind of animation like the one I'm currently doing. Okay. What I'm sure for the time being is that there won't be any acting chapter because I don't have the resources to do it, and it's not something I've trained a lot on. So it might be a further chapter I will bring later on in the course. I don't know. But for the time being, it will be mostly mechanic animation, like a combo animation, body mechanics, I mean. There will probably be some robots and stuff like that too. But yeah, body mechanics animation. And trust me, I mean, when you see any walk or run cycle tutorial online, the time it takes to make just one animation like that, and I plan to do like, I don't know, 15 different animation in the course. That's going to be a long one. So let's just play Blast Steve. Okay, next one, 69. Okay. I never thought I would be so long and so much work for a short sequence. Yeah, it depends on the level of quality you want to reach. Um, if you've seen Dylan Gu talk at the sorry, at the Blender conference, he does like very stylized animation in Blender, and he mostly don't use his curves because he worked like pose to pose, and he, in a way, it's not cheating because what's important is the final results. Okay, but he's cheating a lot with a lot of camera motion, FXs, and stuff like that. That makes with less work toward the curve, every body motion, etc. It allows him to get like super appealing animation very fast. So he like I don't know, but like every month release a 5 minutes animation. That's crazy. I mean. If I was to do it with the level of quality I'm trying to reach on the technique I'm using right now, that will be impossible. That will be more than a year of work. I don't know how much time I've spent on this animation. I would say maybe 50 or 60 hours already, just for 160 frames, so something like 5 seconds of animation from scratch. So, and I guess I still have like maybe 20 hours to make it as good as I can, let's say, to finish to polish it. So yeah, I think yeah, 20 more hours seems to be reasonable. in a way. So yeah, here it is. I think it looks pretty cool. I will post it on Twitter later on. Okay. Um, okay, good. And then tempo pass used in such contexts. Oh, okay, the energy pass. Yeah. So yeah, during blocking, what I do is that I block the main pose and I don't consider the timing. And then as soon as I'm blocking the first breakdowns, I start to move all the keys and order them so that I get a sense of time. And the thing is that with the blocking, uh, we should already feel the timing. Okay. So what I will do is I will show you the final blocking stage of the animation. So yeah, this one, I guess. Yeah. So this one was the blocking. So it's in step mode, okay? And this is where I came from before I go into spline. So you can see that it looks pretty cool in step mode. But as soon as I like switch to Bezier here, okay, it's I mean it does read well, but you lose a lot of information because everything is moving at the same time. Okay, so you want to. This is what the what we are doing right now. The polishing stage is meant to is to offset the different part of the body, make sure that we have like nice arcs and stuff like that. Uh, Okay, Scaruni, Scarune, I've made a video about, so he is currently asking what was my how I end up making 3D and work in what I'm doing right now. I've made a YouTube video about this a few months ago about my path in the 3D. So you will see it, but I've basically learned by myself from home, thanks to CG Cookie. I think it's the best online school for Blender at the moment, I think, and for years, like for the past years, it has been the best one. Hey Jay, thank you for being a part of it. I think I will be streaming tomorrow. I don't know if it's gonna be in the morning, like today, or in the afternoon at my side. But I think I will try to do another 3 hours stream because 2 hours, I'm just warming up, and then when I feel confident in what I'm doing, I have to stop. While here, I'm pretty satisfied of the progress I've made today. So there is a lot of things I need to polish the end of the animation. That's gonna be complicated because there are stuff I don't know what to do. And then I need to polish the hair, the facial expression, the eye targeting, all this kind of stuff. So still a lot to do. Didn't Ad talk at Blender conference go to, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did make, so he didn't add really a talk, he made a demo, he made an animation in 1 hour live. That's crazy. I mean, that's really cocky, but in the end, it was a good animation. So yeah, big respect. When can we expect a release? Are you talking about this animation or the the animation course? Okay, yeah, okay, thanks. Information for the answer. Yeah, I'm currently thinking of some collaboration, but I haven't reached Dylan Gu yet. I think is a bit too big for me, to be honest. With such, the community he has, etc. If I was going to have, I don't know, a collaboration with him, I guess that will be hard for me to find a good deal. Because and that's totally fine, when you work with people that have like a very big community, um, you make profit because of their community. They are very through the time, so you need to pay for this. Even if he like on a 20 hours course, it's like just for 5 minutes. You also have to be a part of the, to pay for the community and stuff like that. This is why you see a lot of people, and so do I, supporting other creators in the Blender community. Like, I mean, I've been affiliated to Creative Frame, CG Boost, CG Cookie too, and so are they with me. And also other people like Diana, Grant Abbott, and other cool people like that. So yeah, because by helping each other, we help ourselves for sure. And this is not some like community bullshit or stuff like that. It's just the very truth. When you are into educational content, the more networking and the more help you give to people, the better will be your business. It's not like secret industries or stuff like that. So yeah, that's how it is. Can stretching before getting touched by the character. Yeah, yeah, the mannequin is not, thank you, but the mannequin, I haven't polished it at all. It will be the very last thing I will be working on. So it might be, you see, it goes up in the air even before you touch it. So yeah, that's not done yet. So I will call this the end. Okay, I will switch to the camera view. Say goodbye to everyone, and I think I'm sure I will be streaming tomorrow if nothing crazy happens in the meantime. So I think it's gonna be tomorrow afternoon. And so thank you everyone for being a part of this streaming. So yeah, 30 people, that's a lot for my small channel. And I will see you tomorrow, I hope. Have a good day. Cheers.